Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bigger Than Race, exposure to all things truth, whether you like it or not, with unique perspectives from different beings from all walks of life. This is Bigger Than Race. Investigate truth on your own terms.
Welcome back to Bigger Than Race. You know who this is? This is your boy, Brando. Ladies and gentlemen, crypto power. I know you see it on the screen. Crypto to the rescue. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for being in the Bigger Than Race community. If you are not in the Patreon group, I advise you to join. We can help accelerate your learning curve and also help you accelerate that portfolio to massive potential. But potential realized in ROI gains. Anybody in the Patreon group will tell you that's the best money you spending. You got some tiers that are cheaper than a Netflix subscription. Anyways, I want to take you on a journey to all things crypto, which leads to the new power. Let's go. Smart cities, ladies and gentlemen. Smart cities. Now we're going to go to a little bit of Cardano. Hey, everybody. It's Charles Hoskinson from Boulder, Colorado. Anti-scam group for Cardano ecosystem. That was me trying to do my little Charles Hoskinson impression, but I need to work on it. But anyways, let's let Charles take it away.
Hi, this is Charles Hoskinson broadcasting live from warm, sunny Colorado. Always warm, always sunny, sometimes Colorado. So today's topic is the topic of scams. And actually, finally, we're in a position where we can do something about it. So I've had a lot of internal conversations, and we've also had a lot of external conversations. And I also called some friends of mine who are in law enforcement, some friends of mine who are in the intelligence business. And we had a long conversation about, okay, what can we do? What are we going to do? All these different things. And one of the things that we've been thinking about is setting up some sort of dedicated body in the Cardano ecosystem that does nothing but build tools to help people report scams and propagate the knowledge that a scam has occurred, as well as do some targeted investigations into ventures that have entered the Cardano space that we feel may be fraudulent. So anyway, we have started an internal task force, and we've received a lot of concerns about a particular fund and an associated venture with that fund, who people feel is not on the up and up. We've started conducting an investigation, and the preliminary results indicate that that fund may actually be a scam. So in 2 weeks' time, we're going to release our first output of this internal working group, and we're actually hiring into that group. So we'll run it as IOG for the moment, and then what we're going to do is set up some sort of association, and we'll contribute employee resources, so the dedicated person we have that does due diligence as a service, as well as our network of people, and we'll put both labor and funding into that dedicated scam group. So anyway, It'll be probably about 2 weeks for us to release the first output, and we'll go ahead and keep doing outputs for the time being. We've already had a discussion with SingularityNet about potentially building some form of browser application that uses AI and natural language processing and other things to be able to help identify and be curated and educated by the people. So anyway, we'll get all that done, and we'll go ahead and release that. But I just want to make a quick video saying that the gears are turning. Sometimes they're a little slow, and also as a call out to our community. So if you are in law enforcement, have a law enforcement background, in the intel community, have an intel background, but basically you have done investigations before, you've dealt with scammers before, you've put people in jail, and you'd like to volunteer your time and effort towards this collaborative effort to fighting scammers in our industry, let us know. We'll at some point announce with a tweet for IO Global specifically about that. And you can just get some information. And as I said, we're hiring a person to manage that. Right now, we've kind of cobbled together a team of people, and then that person will manage the whole thing and be the first point of contact. So just a brief video, real quick, just to let you guys know that we're moving along, and we do hear you, and we do see you. And, we can't just complain about giveaway scams and complain about people doing bad stuff. We as a community need to step up and grab the mantle and do our best to try to prevent them. And by creating a dedicated organ within the Cardano ecosystem to handle these affairs, I think is the best path forward. And the fact that we have this will actually by itself reduce the amount of scams that occur in our industry for our particular ecosystem. People will go to other blockchains, they'll go to other ecosystems because they know that there's not a group of people that actually look into the claims and assertions that are made. All right, thanks everybody. Talk to you soon.
Well, you got to think, ladies and gentlemen, they need to have the security to another level on Cardano because you have things like SingularityNet and Neuralink and Tesla and so many more things to come. Another project that I know that I'm not going to speak of just yet because that's going to be saved for my lovely Patreon group. But groundbreaking, revolutionary tech is going to be housed and built on Cardano. So it has to be at optimal level. Now we're going to go into hearing some Dr. Ben Gortzel on artificial general intelligence.
I'm always sort of triangulating between the rational and the sort of spiritual, intuitive perspective when thinking about these things. I mean, partly because the rational perspective doesn't tell you enough to guide your actions, right? Like you don't need a spiritual intuition about whether 2 + 2 = 4, so you don't bother with that, right? Right. But, it's pretty clear within the context that we live in, there's one direction. But I mean, with AI at the present time, it's very, very subtle. I mean, even if you decide developing AI is too risky, Chinese government's developing it, Google is developing it, Putin is developing it, right? So then you can take yourself out of the loop, but you're not taking humanity out of the loop of moving very rapidly toward AI. And then if I, as an AI researcher and entrepreneur, don't put myself behind developing like democratic, decentralized AI, what's the main society focusing on? It's AI for selling, killing, spying, and gambling, right? I mean, so there's that happening now, right? So the question now isn't should we develop advanced AI or shouldn't we? It's not even should we try to develop AGI or shouldn't we? Because I mean, Google, Facebook, and Putin, they're all trying to develop AGI. How do we direct the human species thrust toward practical AI and toward AGI development? Like, do we put our energy into developing it into a beneficial way? And so, like, according to what definition of beneficial?
So it's a good argument that we should all, even a normal citizen, should be behind or be putting our efforts or energy or even our prayers into developing kind of what you called a benevolent, AGI, something that
I think humanity is in a very bizarre situation in the sense that, I mean, in my view, we're very close to technological singularity, which could either have humongous positive consequences or humongous negative consequences.
And what do you mean by singularity?
So Werner Vinge, the science fiction writer, introduced the concept of a technological singularity. It was then taken up and popularized by my friend Ray Kurzweil, myself, and a bunch of others. But the basic idea is a singularity is a point when the rate of scientific and technological progress is coming along so fast that it appears roughly infinite to the human perception, right? So imagine like your smartphone is making 10 new Nobel Prize-worthy discoveries every 5 seconds, right? I mean, that's a different order of progress than what we're seeing right now. But if you plot the curves, that's what we're working toward. So, I mean, it's not that progress in every domain is exponential. Like, I mean, shirts and hats are about the same as they were when I was a little kid. On the other hand, not quite, but pretty close. And, computers, nanotechnology, genomics, all these things they're progressing faster and faster each year than they did before. AI certainly is. And I think this is going to continue. So what this means is we're probably on the verge, meaning years to decades away, from creating engineered minds that are smarter than our evolved minds, from curing death and disease through molecular biology and other sorts of technologies, from curing material scarcity at the human level of need via 3D printers and nano assemblers and so forth. So we're so close to this. We can see how this could literally kill us all, or worse, it could enable some psychopath to mind load all of us into a computer simulation of Christian hell and burn us there in virtual bubbling oil for a billion years. Or on the other hand, it could give us infinite bliss and creative success and social, intellectual, spiritual success, whatever we want. While we're so close to this sort of bifurcation point, humanity is spending most of its resources on incredibly stupid stuff like fighting,
like chicken wings and Netflix and chill and going out buying dinners that you don't really need because it's not bringing you any intrinsic value. Ladies and gentlemen, AGI, Dr. Ben Gortzel, is coming from a spiritual place, but also a logical place. Now, I like to think this is going to happen a lot sooner than they keep predicting. You could just see the trends. They use this pandemic to help speed up things. But they were already working behind the scenes. They are ahead of the curve. And those who have Cardano, AGI, will soon have the Tsingtao. And ladies and gentlemen, you have a sure shot to the ticket to the future of the Willy Wonka chocolate factory. I've got a golden ticket. I've got a golden ticket. If you got AGI, you goddamn right, you got a golden ticket. Now it says, welcome to OCAM 5 ecosystem, the first launch pad and liquidity solution for Cardano. With a growing number of decentralized ecosystems emerging year on year, it's a full-time job for many in the blockchain industry, just keeping up with new developments within these explosive new ecosystems. Decentralized finance, more commonly known as DeFi, has also broadened our understanding on what an idyllic financial system could look like on the blockchain. I probably butchered that word, but who gives a damn? Multiple new DeFi products have emerged, from lending and borrowing platforms to insurance, synthetics, crowdfunding, derivatives, and asset management protocols. Over 230 DeFi apps were submitted to DappRadar in 2020 alone, with 45% of them running on Ethereum network. Many of these projects have achieved market capitalizations in the billions of dollars. But what of the protocol itself? Who audits, explores, and chooses the right underlying blockchain for the next generation of finance? And where might we find the features needed to power the world's decentralized financial system? Building a blockchain to last. Longevity is rarely a word we encounter in the blockchain industry. Instead, we normally focus on sprints to the finish and innovation. But innovation for innovation's sake is not inherently good. When billions of dollars of value is stored on chain, can we really afford to move fast and break things? Absolutely not. That's why Cardano is Cardano, and it has been doing what it's been doing. The currently established dApps ecosystems has major faults. These include slow, non-inclusive, high-fee environments such as Ethereum missing native interoperability and scalability issues, sometimes resulting in average transaction fees of over $100 in US. To centralize nodes that undermine one of the three pillars of blockchain and security. The space is now ripe for a game-changing blockchain environment that can accommodate a wide range of participants, including general users, institutions, and enterprise, without losing its key underlying properties. It was these issues long plaguing the fledgling DeFi space that formed the impetus for our choice of protocol, one built to last. We are talking, of course, about Cardano. Cardano is among the most precisely built blockchains and the only protocol to be built from the ground up based on peer-reviewed research. Not only is it built and deployed on solid code, but it has also given rise to one of the largest, strongest, and most intelligent communities in blockchain, with over 1 million users across its social platforms. Cardano, big time, Big Papa, is here, and it's here with some of the biggest, baddest crypto projects to ever touch the face of this earth. Ecofolio, a stablecoin proposal seeking to migrate from Ethereum to Cardano. What is Ecofolio? Ecofolio aims to fight climate change while simultaneously creating a marketplace that uses tokenized natural capital assets. The tokens would be traded easily with the help of blockchain tech. The aim is to lower entry barriers and increase liquidity, which could attract more capital to asset classes like sustainable forests. It could also take steps to combat the loss of forests globally by reforestation of degraded lands like brownfield. Okay, with the common goal to bridge the gap between early adopters and simultaneously make the technology a piece of common knowledge. The Ecofolio site accepts fiat and issues tokens. So you want me to buy a piece of Smokey the Bear, his forest, on a tokenized stock or a tokenized asset. I see. Now we're moving on to Fetch AI, stop loss agent in DeFi, customizable, secure, powered by Fed. Protects you from impermanent loss, price pumps, price dumps. How to use it. Enter an acceptable loss value level and configure the agent. 2. Load up enough Fed tokens to keep it running. Is it secure? Withdraw your liquidity only to your own wallet, independent of any third parties, fully based on your requirements. Moving on to VeChain, dog. On March 29, 2021, Ubiquity teams up with VeChain to implement VeChain toolchain for the US and global title industry. Ubiquity partners with Women in Blockchain Canada, powering your hotel's reward systems with the blockchain. Ubiquity joins the Government Blockchain Association as small organizational member. Ubiquity logo, NFTs for sale. 100% of the proceeds going to charity, helping to locate missing and exploited children. You see, VeChain just keeps going at it and at it and at it. I don't really need to read this because they're getting into real estate NFTs and they're doing some major things. And the tool chain of VeChain is going to be adopted globally with major enterprises and companies because it's a one-stop shop to blockchain for any business without having to do any hard work. VeChain made it simple. And that's what some people don't understand. That VeChain works in silence. They say the best way to move is in silence because you are not showing your hand. Jim Breyer is invested for a reason. Moving right along. Industry 4.0, blockchain, IoT, and the other technologies set to power the next industrial revolution. Industry 4.0 is, in a way, an unfortunate term. It sounds like just another run-of-the-mill buzzword conceived by a marketing agency trying to cash in on the rapidly growing digital trend and our growing reliance on computing devices. But upon closer inspection, the term really is an accurate description of what the next industrial revolution might be like. Industrial 4.0. So we're going to be highlighting the interoperability, which is coming in the 4.0. This relates to the ability of people, machines, and devices to connect and communicate with each other in a system or even across systems. Hint, hint, blockchain, transparency, technical assistance, decentralization, Industry 4.0 technologies, IoT, artificial intelligence, big data, cloud computing, blockchain, and DLT. Shows you the benefits of blockchain, which is interoperability, transparency and immutability, decentralization, programmability, tokenomics, the fourth industrial revolution, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it's made up of. It just is what it is. This is where we are headed. And Stellar. Did I say anything about Stellar? I didn't. But you know what? I actually wanted to go over the assets on Stellar. Yes, I wanted you to see all of the assets that are on Stellar that are doing its thing. You keep going and you're going and you're going. You see all these assets. There's a lot more. Anyways, yeah, here's some more here. All of these assets. You have some countries. There's stable coins issued on Stellar. All of it. Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, the market is a sleeping giant ready to awaken. And if you're not positioned in key assets, you will kick yourself in the ass. And if you don't want to do that, and if you're new to crypto and you don't have time, because I assure you, the arc has closed and it will be taking off rather quickly. So if you want to squeeze yourself right underneath the door like a little rat, get in the Patreon group and we'll help accelerate your learning curve. Because I can assure you, if you don't know anything, you need to know now. And that can only happen on Bigger Than Race. Ladies and gentlemen, you know who this is. This is your boy, Brando. Investigate truth on your own terms.